Let me ask you, what happened with this incident at a Starbucks? We know award-winning showrunner Shonda Rhimes was interested in Bridgerton. How did you learn that she was interested, and what happened at this Starbucks?
It came out of nowhere. I was just sitting there, as one does, pretending to write in a Starbucks, and my phone rang, and it was my agent, and he said, um, "Have you heard of Shonda Rhimes?" Just kind of went, yes." And he said, "Well, I just had the most interesting call." And I was just, I mean, I practically fell off the stool because nobody was adapting romance novels.
Right.
People will ask me, "How did you sell it?" And I'll say, "I didn't do anything." The way I understand it, Shonda ran out of books to read on vacation and somehow stumbled on one of mine. And it's crazy to think that my life is forever changed because Shonda didn't bring enough reading material on vacation, but that's honestly what happened.
I love that. How did you learn? Is because a big part of the draw with the Netflix show is the diversity. The Duke obviously
Mhm.
is black, and the Queen, which is not a character that was originally in, is black, and you have all this richness of diversity. How did you learn that that would be the interpretation brought to the show?
Well, I mean, I think I suspected it from the beginning because this is a Shondaland show, and one of the things Shondaland is known for, and that I love it for, is the diversity within its shows. And so I was curious how they were going to do it because it is a little different bringing this level of diversity and inclusion to a historical piece than it is to, say, Grey's Anatomy. But I learned about it when they sent me the list of cast. Honestly, in the scripts, it wasn't clear, except for the character of Will Mondrich. He was the only one identified in the script by race. And so I saw the cast and I just thought it was amazing.
Did it take your
But
breath
I think
away?
it's
Did you?
really,
I mean, it is an amazing. Of course, Shonda, one of the most genius showrunners, but to realize that, oh my gosh, this will also be a cultural touch point. This is an interracial couple, in this period drama. This Queen Charlotte is just everybody's, best friend in our heads. If we have a best friend that happens to be a queen that judges everyone, and they are all prominent and they are black, and it will be distributed though for everyone to fall in love with.
the feeling that I have most is just gratitude.
Yeah.
Because I want to sort of dial it back a second. And I think what's really important, in addition to looking at the casting, is to recognize the diversity behind the camera.
Yeah.
The writers' room was incredibly diverse. The four directors of the show, they were not all white men, which is wonderful. And I think what happens there is that I'm one person.
Yeah.
I can only be as diverse as I am,
Yeah.
and I can bring so much, but when you bring in all these people with their own imaginations and with their own lived experiences, they can expand the original story and make it just more colorful and more diverse and more wonderful. And I'm so grateful to them for that.
Julia, I'm sure there have been many, many amazing things that I would love to hear over drinks that have happened and that you've read about the show. I was so struck by this headline that the steamy sex scenes between Daphne and Simon have been so inquired about on adult entertainment sites. Is that one of the strangest things that you've heard? Because it is so steamy. Is that how you envision when you wrote about the romance and the exploits in the book?
I don't think that technically the scenes are actually much more intimate or explicit than other stuff we're seeing on television or in the movies. I think the difference is that it's being shown from a more female centric gaze.
Ah.
And that makes it feel sexier to us, certainly to us, as women. And I think that's why people are suddenly thinking, oh, this is so different. This is so sexy. But it's not actually more explicit. It's just, finally we get to look at things the way we want to.
Right. I think that's a great point. It is from that perspective.